Well, well, well. Hello there. Oblivion Remastered just came out not even a week ago. And I don't know, I just decided to record a video. I had this pre-recorded and I kind of just wanted to talk over it, I guess. Kind of inspired by C Nanners from YouTube. I don't know if anybody knows him. He's from back in my day. He played Call of Duty a lot. At the time I was playing Call of Duty a lot. He would just sit down. He had pre-recorded matches of Call of Duty, and then he just would kind of talk about his life, the game, stuff like that. And it just, I kind of resonated with that because he was kind of going through similar things I was going through in my life. And I don't know, it's more for me, but hopefully somebody can find enjoyment out of it. Maybe it helps you fall asleep. Maybe you enjoy Let's Play for some reason. I don't know. Worst case, it's good footage. But yeah, I just wanted to really talk about the game. This just blew my mind. Oblivion for me, it has to be probably top 3 games of my lifetime. Like, especially in terms of nostalgia. Playing through this remaster kind of really prove if it's dated or not. Spoiler, it doesn't seem too bad so far. The combat is definitely something to be, it's a little dated. Let's just say it. But I just love this game so much. And earlier this year, I think I saw on Twitter that it had been leaked that game was going to come out, and I thought it was fake. I said, "There's no way this game's going to release. Like, they're going to re-release this." There's the whole Sky Oblivion thing, all of that, and I don't know, like I didn't believe it. And then I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, Twitter again leaked it, said there's more leaks, said that this is official, this is coming out, there's screenshots. I couldn't believe it. I still didn't believe it. I was skeptical. I thought there's no way this is gonna come out, and here we are. It did, and they actually shadow dropped it. I was just flabbergasted. I don't even know where I'm going on with this. Again, I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm talking to a screen. No one can even see me. It's weird. I've never done anything like this before. The only thing I've ever done in my life is I uploaded like one YouTube video of a guide in World of Warcraft. No voice, just music, and I put little annotations over it. It got like 30,000 views, and I never pursued it. I don't know. So, as I make more of these, I'm sure I'll settle in, I'll get more comfy, but this first one's definitely going to be awkward. My voice will probably keep cracking. I'll probably stutter a lot. I'll probably lose thought process here. Yeah. The character creation, I love it. I was playing around with this, so this is another thing. I had already made my original character last night, and I played through it. I recorded the whole thing. It was like 4 hours. I kind of split it in two, did 2-hour pieces each, and for whatever reason, it did not save. So we're starting over again with another character. I'm kind of just playing around with the character creator here. Spoiler alert, I don't even end up going with this. I just do a randomized appearance and then kind of go from there. The graphics in this new remaster are absolutely insane. I love it so much. And I guess I'll talk more about Oblivion and like its origin for me. I started with Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I played it on Xbox. It had already been out for a while, I guess, because I know that the first time I had bought it, it was the Game of the Year edition. And that game it was my first like really big RPG kind of open world style game that I'd ever played in my life, and it stuck with me my entire life to this day, obviously. And but I was so young, I don't even know, I must have been like 11, 12, I think, when I finally got my hands on Oblivion, or sorry, Morrowind. And I didn't have a huge concept on video games back then. I didn't look up guides or anything like that. I just was winging it, and I was bad. I was really bad at Morrowind, and I remember I had a hard time just like getting out of out of the city. I couldn't even follow the quest line. Uh, it was, but I still had so much fun. I did like more role playing. You know, I'd run around pretending like I was a guard. My cousin and she would come over and we'd take turns playing. We'd pretend like our characters were like skooma addicts and stuff like that. Like it just was so much fun. It really opened my eyes to the whole RPG games or genre. And later on, when I got into high school, story for another day. But I had gotten, or I just started. I had to start over. You know, again, a story from another day. But my father had just won custody of my brother and I, and moved us to North Carolina. I was living in Florida at the time. I had done all of middle school, and I done freshman year of high school in Florida, and my dad wins a custody battle for my brother and I, packs us up, moves us to North Carolina. I've got a fresh start. I don't know anybody. Nothing's going on, and it's a weird, awkward time for me. You know, just uplifting my entire life and things happening and having to start over. And my anxiety was high. Like things were not the best, but it was also, it was a fresh start, so it was like kind of hopeful. I get to 10th grade. This is 2006. I believe that's. I don't know if that's. I'm gonna Google real quick. I wonder if that's. When did the Xbox 360 come out? 1 second. Let's see. Xbox 360 release. Okay, November 22, 2005. So I knew about the 360. Let's see when Oblivion released. When did it originally release? I remember reading about Oblivion in a magazine on the plane to North Carolina. So definitely, let's see, original release. Okay, development delays. Push it back to March 2006. So the game had only been out, because I moved summer of 2006. It had only been out 3 months. And I desperately wanted it. I didn't have an Xbox 360 at the time. And it was, it was all I could think about. I was reading it on magazines. Like I said, like I just would just stare at pictures. It just blew me away with the graphical and all that. And my dad had decided, he said, you got a fresh start. You've had a history of either just barely passing or just abysmal grades. Really much since grade school. School had never really interested me. It didn't seem worth my time. But he told me, he said, if you get all A's and B's on this semester, your first semester, your fresh start, I will buy you an Xbox 360 and one game. And that alone made me, that's all I could fixate on, because all I could think about is I got to get my hands on a 360 so I could play Oblivion, because that is going to be my game. So, it's August 2006. I worked my ass off. I studied harder than I've ever studied my entire life. I have it. My dad still has it somewhere, my report card, but I ended up getting all A's and B's. In North Carolina, it was also weird. In Florida, we had, I believe, it's been so long, I think maybe 6 classes, maybe 7. It was a big chunk. You had these little 30 minutes classes all throughout the day. And then in North Carolina, it was just 4 classes, and you had these huge, they call them blocks. And so I just had 4 classes. I think it was 3 primary and 1 elective. I can't remember. But I did it. I got all A's and B's. It felt great. It felt difficult. And I got the 360. He got it. He kept his word. He gave me a 360 with Oblivion, and I installed that game. And let me tell you, I we'll get to the footage whenever I get out. You know, when you get out of the sewers and just like it took my breath away. Like I had never seen anything like that in my entire life in a video game. You know, I grew up with the Nintendo 64 and like the PlayStation, and then I had a PlayStation 2 and an original Xbox later on in life, GameCube, stuff like that. But you know, nothing is as far as Oblivion. And then it's funny, you know, you look back at it now and you're like, whoa, because this is why we have remaster. But it just was fun, um, and I got sucked in. Like it consumed me. It's all I could think about, and I kept playing it. The soundtrack, which is what's playing in the background right now, it just really immerses you. I don't think I've ever been as immersed in a video game to this day. Like it just really captures everything. It's just the exploration, all of it. And I decided to play it, keep playing it. My and my grades went down. And it wasn't because of Oblivion, you know. Like I didn't have a history of it in the first place. Take a quick drink of water real quick, sorry. But I didn't work as hard, or I didn't had worked as hard for grades in the first place, and so I I decided to stop trying as hard because, you know, my dad, he still quotes it to this day. He said that he knew that I was destined for a different path whenever he saw the report card next time. And he didn't offer anything that time. It was just, you know, you got your big prize, maybe you keep it going. And you know, I got all C's. I think I had like like 3 C's and a D. And he asked me, you know, why'd you stop trying pursuing, you know, honor roll again? And I told him, this is his, I don't remember it exactly, but he says this was the quote, that I told him that I had thought about it, and you know, the amount of work and effort that I put in wasn't worth getting a sheet of paper with a letter on it. So I decided to do just the bare minimum to get passing, and get just a pass. And and he said that's when he knew that I was destined for something else in life, which has remained true. I guess after that point, yeah. I mean, I had even gotten the math down to where when my senior year of high school, I had gotten it down to where I knew that I could skip my first elective entirely because I didn't need that credit. All I had to do was show up for 3 of my 4 classes and get C's. I didn't have to get A's or B's. If I got just C's in these last 3 classes, and then the first class that I had, which was my elective, I didn't need. I ended up skipping it entirely, and I guess I just I was playing. So back at this time, towards the end of high school, I had you know, I had been playing Oblivion for years at that point. I had done. I couldn't even tell you how many playthroughs. I had my Xbox 360, my original one. It's dead. But if I could go back and look, I guarantee you at a minimum 1,500 hours on Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion between 2006 and 2009, and which is when I graduated high school. But I kind of, you know, I kind of moved on to different games. I'd been introduced to World of Warcraft through a friend, and I had actually almost failed high school because of World of Warcraft, which is a whole nother thing. And just as an iteration, like to go back, sorry, not iteration, but just to go back, this whole thing is about Oblivion. I'm talking about Oblivion, but I'm also just talking about my life in general and experiences I've had. About World of Warcraft, this was a reason why I almost failed high school, because I had joined a guild that did like raids, which is where you just fight bosses as a group. You need like 10 to 20 people. It was 25 back then. And I had joined a guild. I'm in high school. I'm like 17 years old. I joined a guild that's in California. I'm on Eastern time. I'm in North Carolina. And so they're starting for them at 9 p.m., which is midnight for me. You know, I have class at 7 in the morning, 7 a.m. And, man, I really spent a lot of time with this character customization here. But I go to this raiding guild, and that's raids in California time. So, for me, it starts at midnight and it ends at 4 a.m. Usually it's 3, but sometimes they go over and we go to 4 a.m., which is only midnight for them. And then I've got to be at school at 9 or 7 a.m. I believe is when it started. And I ended up doing some wild thing where I just decided, that's when I came up with the math. I was like, if I just skip my first period class entirely, I don't even go, I'll be fine. And I start sleeping in like grocery store parking lots to get a nap while I catch up, so I can get some catch-up sleep until I finally get back home, or to school, sorry, and finish up the rest of those classes. And I did that the whole last semester of high school. So for I think it was 6 months. Yeah, 6 months I did that. And 5, I guess. But it ended up working out because I went to, or it ended up almost not working out because I went a ridiculous amount of absences. And you know, at the time I was pretty crafty, and I had somehow forged my dad's signature, and I had changed the phone number to my cell phone number, so they every time they called, you know, he didn't show up for school for this period class or whatever, it would excuse me, go straight to my phone. And but what had happened was the amount of absences I had accrued, even though it didn't matter about that class, if you have a certain amount of absences, you could fail. So they said that to counteract it, like, they still would let me graduate if I went to Saturday school. And so I had to go to Saturday school to finish, or to graduate, because I had all those absences, which I ended up doing. It was terrible. It was easy, but, you know, I did it. And I finished. It was interesting times. Interesting times. I got really off tangent there. Went down a path, but I guess back to Oblivion. This game just like it it takes words away, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm still in shock that I'm in character creator right now. How long was I in this? We're almost 20 minutes in to this video, and I still haven't even created a character yet. That's just how awesome. That's how much I love character creation. And like this game took it a whole different level. Where, I mean, you know, and people meme about character creator. I'm not as you can see, I'm not into the whole making a distorted SpongeBob SquarePants giant face, whatever. I prefer a traditional character, but I just love that how detailed and fleshed out I was back then. Here we go, we're finally starting gameplay. When I made a dark elf. Every game I've made, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, all dark elf. It's my favorite race in the game. I've always been a big elf guy. World of Warcraft, I played Night Elf. But for this purpose, I always made like a Argonian or a Khajiit or a High Elf on alternate playthroughs. But my mains have always been Dark Elves. And like getting back into this game, dropping in, and it's hard to explain. Like, I like I try to make words of it. Like whenever I started playing this game again, it's like going down memory lane, but with like HD glasses. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it's flooring. Like it's insane. Because I played this game so much that little triggers happen. It's like I remember this. Like there's a spot where you'll even see in this gameplay where I'm walking through, and I remembered a specific chest, and I'd like 360 turn around, and I beam for that chest because I just remember it was there. I guess I'm just taking it all in. Sorry, distracted. But going through and watching it. Oh, we got. I should probably
this is
change
exactly
that,
what your mouth had
I didn't
in
even
mind.
think about that. We gotta get ad blocker for this audio. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going from here. Just kind of talking, just to talk. And, you know, I've said it probably twice already. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this for me. You know, if it ended up taking off eventually, I'm sure after the first few episodes of this, because I'm gonna keep doing it. And when I get more comfortable and I can form proper thoughts and build story, and actually talk properly, I'm gonna have to edit that. Jeez. You know, we'll figure things out as we go. I just am so excited to be playing this game again. I also am curious if I should keep the in-game audio in and then just talk over it, but I feel like it might be a little too much. Okay. I feel like it might be a little too much. So that's why I kind of just have the soundtrack on in the background. I muted the gameplay. Man, the graphics are wild. I kind of just you know, second playthrough, so not playthrough, but all I did was get out of the the main gate, and I go to where do I go? I meet up with Joffrey. That's all I did in my main playthrough. But I figured out the RP walking and everything like that, so that's what I'm doing here. Kind of just letting you take it in, taking it all in. It's funny too, when I first did this, I remembered that you can get the sword from the blade that falls here. Yeah, Captain Renault. And do I use it here? I do use it here, but I end up dropping it later. But it's just crazy how, you know, I hadn't played this game in the last time I had tried to play this game was maybe 10 years ago. I have it on Steam, and it was rough. But I remember the katana. Man. It's beautiful. The graphics are just actually insane. Trying to play around with some third-person combat here, just because I did. So, I guess another thing to say too, you know, I didn't know at the time back then that, you know, stealth archers were especially in Skyrim, that they were like the most OP thing in the game, yada yada yada. And I've always just been a huge fan of bow and arrow. Bow and arrow and like two-handed greatsword, like that's just always been like my favorite things in these kind of games. So I'm pretty sure I did it in Morrowind, because, you know, again, in Morrowind I was so bad that I couldn't even play the game properly. I didn't even understand the mechanics of the game. I didn't even understand the mechanics in Oblivion properly, to be completely truthful. I I just remember I did a little bit of everything. I remember I used a bow. I think I used some magic. Like I dabbled in everything. Um, but I've always been a stealth archer kind of guy. But for this character, I thought I'd mess around with like kind of blunt weapons. So here I pick up the club. I think maybe maybe I'll mess around with some the two-handed mace later. Uh, the lock picking was funny. I'd forgotten about that. It could be pretty frustrating, but it's not so bad. Especially if you get your security levels up, it's a little easier. But I've always just loved archery. That's where I was going. My first character that I made for the remake is an archer, and it's a lot more different of a play style. Like I've always loved that stealth assassin kind of approach where before the enemy even sees me, they're dead kind of thing. But this guy is gonna be get in your face, just brawler kind of character. I'm surprised how many arrows they give you. I guess it makes sense, and I love the idea that you can get the arrows back. A game I think should be something like that is Elden Ring. Dark Souls series games. They should introduce bows mechanics kind of similar. At least like arrows is what I mean. Like having to craft 100,000 arrows is annoying. I like how this game. I can't remember Skyrim style. I assume it was different. I haven't played Skyrim in probably a decade as well. But oh, here we go. So we finally got some heavy armor, and we're cruising along. The graphics, man. It's so. I just love that. Can finally play this game like this. It's so crazy. Oh. The soundtrack. I haven't looked up what exactly they've changed about the leveling system. I know that they rehauled it, or at least somewhat. But again, it's just been so long. I can't remember. Like I remember people talking about it being janky. I guess to the sprinting, I think it's a fantastic addition. People are, I guess, not super excited about it, but it's 2025. It needs to be in the game. It just, especially if you have a younger audience that's never played a game like this before, like they're TikTok brain's not going to be able to handle. I think this is the chest I was talking about earlier, but they're just not going to be able to handle. Can't go fast, kind of thing, And I think it's fine. I don't see a problem with it. I approve. Here we go. We finally find the Warhammer. This is what we were after. There we go. Now we got some action. This is what we're looking for, baby. It looks kind of tiny when you're in third person. In the original games, including all three, I started with Morrowind, but Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, I played almost at least gameplay wise, I played exclusively at first person, and then I would only go third person for RP kind of stuff, which you'll see me do here too. I guess I wanted to play around with the third person in this because I was not doing it on my archer character, which the archery is a lot more difficult in third person. I don't know why, but right there I remember thinking, like, there's no way they made the map, like, destructible, or for some reason did they. I'm playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, and a lot of map destruction in that game. Swinging through some rats. This game came at such a great time too. Like I mean, I actually wish it had come out last year because I had a lot more free time last year. But speaking of, the game shadow dropped on Tuesday, last Tuesday. It hasn't even been a week out yet, but I was so excited to play it, and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna go home after work and I'm gonna play this game all night long. Probably stay up too late. Potentially have to call out of work. And instead, I get a phone call from my wife saying that my mom has shadow dropped my younger brother's birthday, and we're gonna celebrate 3 days early because he has work on his birthday. So I didn't get to play Oblivion that night, and then the next night comes around, and all my friends are messaging me about playing Marvel Rivals. My wife has the night off, so we decided to play Marvel Rivals, and then I have to work the next 2 days, and I don't have time, because of how my schedule worked. I had like maybe an hour, so all I did is I created my original character, and then that was it. Actually, I just created him, and then I said if I do anything else, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna call out of work. So I didn't do it, but yesterday. So yesterday was Saturday. So yeah, Saturday was the first time last night was the first time I like actually got to play and experience it, and just smiles is all I can say. Like I just it just makes me smile. I love this up here with the logs. I don't know why I'm sneaking. But the log part I definitely remember, and I think there's one playthrough I remember where I had clicked the logs to fall, and I chased down afterward, but then they also trampled me because I went too fast. Oh yeah. I think I kind of try and fool around with the Iron Mace here. I think all the I don't want to say I feel nervous, but I feel nervous, I guess, and I don't know what I really want to talk about now, so I've just kind of been rambling. And again, this is, I don't expect anyone to watch this. I would be just, my jaw would drop to the floor if anybody had watched past the first 2 minutes of this video. So I'm kind of just trying to get comfortable with myself, and because I want to do a whole playthrough. So probably what I'll do, maybe we switch over to my main character after this. I just kind of want to do a little play test. And I think I want to talk more about like my life, maybe the earlier days, like the Oblivion times, and just like just how this game just meant so much to me. Life in general. And in the meantime, this could be something hilarious to come back and watch, because I'm not going to edit it. I probably won't edit until I start actually getting, if I ever get a following. Another confession to make, actually, I'm not drinking water, I'm drinking beer. It's 3:58 p.m., it's basically 5. Decided to crack open the first beer. It's surprisingly harder to just talk for to yourself, especially consecutively for what are we in here now? We're 35 minutes in. I've just been I couldn't even tell you what I've been talking about because again, weirdly nerves. I'm not even on camera, which I do have a camera. I've streamed on Twitch before, but you know you kind of have gameplay to supplement, which I do have here. But you know you're playing live versus me watching myself play. This is pre-recorded, so I'm not currently playing the game. I'm just watching it, and it's just a lot weirder. And like I said, you know, I have a direction that I want to go with this, and we'll get there eventually. This is just the first stage. It's gonna be weird, but there's a you know, I guess there's something else I could talk about. To this day, you know, I mean, obviously, it like nerves play a factor, but I've always wondered like why you know I'm almost halfway into my 30s and my voice still cracks, and it will be not even whenever I am nervous. I'm just talking and my voice just, whoop, you know, it just happens. I don't know. Which is why I've never really tried to do anything like this, because if I talk for an extended amount of time, eventually my voice is gonna crack. But you know what? We'll have fun with it. I'm sure if and when comments ever become a thing, I'll get the voice crack jokes all the time. I kind of actually, because it happens so often, you know, at work, I just start doing Mickey Mouse voice, and I'll go, oh boy, it's a good time. We have fun at work. I think I like the Uriel Septim remastered face. If it looks pretty good, I think it captured it pretty well. When we get to him eventually, though, like Joffrey's, it's such a, you know, that original face is just ingrained in my brain, and I feel like they didn't really capture it that great in this remaster. Like he just looks, I don't know, he doesn't have the same facial characteristics as he did in the original. I don't know. He looks like, I don't know, he looks different. But I think Uriel's good. I can't wait to find Martin. I'm very curious to see how Martin looks. Mm. Tongue shriller than music. I love that they kind of kept. They didn't kind of. They kept 99% of the original game in, and just how the camera just it just whiplashes you. That Boris dialogue was nuts. I can't remember if in the original if you could RP walk. I guess if you just like slowly hit the stick. Because you know I play on a controller right now. I'm playing on PC. I played on Xbox 360. Always made me so upset that these assassins, you know, they have this sick armor, and then you kill them, and they just turn into these robed nerds. I guess we're probably getting close to the end here. I decided to try and keep this not super long. I guess I think we'll probably, I don't know time frame wise what we'll be doing. Maybe I think definitely maximum an hour long episodes, just because I think it'll just be cool to kind of just blabber for that amount of time. But in this instance, you know, I guess I didn't really know where to start, so I've just been all over the place. But like next episode, I think we'll probably talk more about, I don't know, either the game or my life. I don't know if I want to kind of just weave in bits and pieces of both. But I only played up until I got out of the prison, and then that's where I stopped recording, which we should be getting there soon. Actually, he's not even... I won't spoil it. It's got to be a visual bug. Yeah, this is where I take the shield off because it just was bothering me where every time I took my mace out, there's a shield was on my wrist. It's like, why is it doing that? For the Emperor. You know, I tried because I couldn't remember. I feel like it did work back in the original. I can't remember, but I know he takes a katana at the end of this after this section here. But I can't remember if you dropped it, if you could pick it up afterward. I feel like you could. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. This was so... Oh my god. So good. Like, just look at that. It's like, you know, when you're 14 or however old I was, 15. That's how I replay that in my head. But if you go back and you watch the original, it's just like, it's worse. But I love how they capture that, because I feel like that's just kind of what it felt. That's what it felt like, that scene, you know? Like the guy just coming out of the back and just stabbing him in the throat. Like, that was brutal. Okay, here I create my class. Wait, hold on. So let's pause this. Oh, nope, never mind. I think I wasn't too far off from just the first class I saw there. Because I want the character to just, you probably won't use too much magic. I did put a restoration for some healing. But I feel like custom class is just, it's always the way to go. I think even in my original playthrough, like in the OG, in 2006, I think I did custom. I can't remember. But, I want this guy to be like, kind of like a two-hander kind of guy with some healing spells, so I gave him restoration. And then I don't really care too much about the RP stuff, so we don't really get like any security or anything like that. Sneak or persuasion. Yeah, we opt for the restoration. Let me fast forward this a little bit. Or retitle it Behemoth. Let's try audio. We're fooling around. Nobody's watching this anyways. We're testing things out, getting the vibes. I feel like I need to change the sensitivity. Sorry. But this was fun. This was a good first episode, kind of break the ice, if you will. Hopefully I get a little more comfortable as the time goes on. And I've just always wanted to do something like this. Even before this remaster came out, I wanted to do like an Oblivion playthrough. So this is just the perfect excuse. And I just want to have something, you know, whether it be for my future kids or whoever, you know, like maybe I have something that people can just look back on and get a glimpse of my life and my love of this game. Huh. I feel like the in-game audio might be a little too distracting. I don't know. We'll probably just stick with soundtrack with me talking over it, unless like, you know, people prefer in-game audio. Just trying to see if I can hit him through the gate, but it's not a thing. So you have to open the gate. Still miss. One shot though. There we go. I love the addition of the dragon logo. I don't remember. Maybe you come back here later. I can't remember about that gate. I think you come back here towards the end of the game or something. I can't remember. Ugh, just look at this. Just look at this. Okay, I guess I'm taken away from it. Set my keybinds. This is something I really wish I had been aware of, or I guess was this even in the original game? I don't know. I played on Xbox, so I don't know if I had this wheel or shortcut wheel or not. I can't remember. Ugh. I thought about messing around with my class, but it's good for what I want. I'm okay with it. This is what it's all about. Absolutely breathtaking. But yeah, I mean, this is it, guys. If you somehow, some way, for some reason, watch this all the way through, I truly thank you. We'll be back. I'm gonna make more episodes. I'll probably have more structure. And thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, fellas.